Hi, we're in the third day of this journey, and today we will spend a few moments trying to understand maybe how it is important to align this journey with our stage or state of life. For example, you could be a student, you could be someone who is working, you could be someone who is in a seminary or in a nunnery, or you could, we have various stages or states of life, and our journey should be aligned with that stage or state of life, because we should aspire to meet God and let God meet us in the state we are in. Sometimes we think that, okay, maybe when we are in a different state we will do more. For example, a student could think that, after I get a job I will pursue this journey more vigorously or ardently, but that usually doesn't help, because the Lord wants you to meet Him, and He wants to meet you in the state that you are in right now. One example from the Bible, or one way of looking at this from the Bible, is from the book of Genesis chapter 28. You see this beautiful incident of Jacob having a dream, and the dream is also named as maybe Jacob's ladder, where he sees angels actually going up and down this ladder. And it is very nice to note that these angels have wings, but they fly not. One reason could be, that in this journey that we are taking, very, 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 very rarely will you find someone being catapulted from one stage or one phase of the journey to something very different. This journey is something we have to take step by step, like the angels who have wings but fly not, but go up step by step. And the Lord wants to meet you where you are now. It's very beautiful that the angels are ascending and descending, maybe to tell us that they move up to God in various ways of prayer and worship, but at the same time they come down and meet people wherever they are. Devotion is not just reserved for a few people, it is for everyone. But we should understand how to maybe channel some of the practices that we have with our state of life. Otherwise, we might end up in frustration. For example, I have seen or talked to many youngsters who, after reading the life of a saint, is so inspired by the life, which is very good, but they then try to channelize some of the practices of the saint into their life. For example, a saint who might have been in a monastery would have had a prayer life of 6 or 7 hours a day. And as a student, when we try to imitate that practice, trying to imitate is good, but we should also not be disheartened of the fact that you might not be in a state of life where you can spare that 7 hours to pray, like the saint who did in the monastery. Or maybe a married person. The way you pray and the time you pray would be very different from that of who is in a seminary or in a nunnery. So you and I have to understand that our state of life is where God has put us, and that is where He wants us to meet Him, and He wants to meet us. So let us understand this maybe from one beautiful dimension in the church. If you look at the patron saints of missionaries, yes, you heard me right, it is saints of missionaries, because we have two patron saints for missionaries. One is Saint Francis Xavier, who traveled far and wide with the good news. And the second is Saint Teresa of Lisieux, who never left her cloister. But they both are the patron saints for missionaries. One, Saint Francis Xavier, may be experiencing and sharing his love in a different way from that of Saint Teresa of Lisieux, who is in a very different stage or state of life. Both experience God's love, both demonstrate God's love, both live this experience of God's calling, but in completely different ways. Yes, we should look at saints and try to maybe imitate some of the practices or some of the ways they have been living, but also understand and let God show a new way to us, because He wants us to experience Him where we are now, in our state of life, as a student, as someone who is working, as someone who is married, or as someone who may be in the convent or in a seminary. So let God meet you in your state of life. And let's pray that God gives us the grace to understand this beautiful stage, a beautiful way in which to look at this journey. Let Him meet you where you are in your state of life. And let us align this journey with that. God bless.